Hello everyone, my name is Rebekah Lee, and today I'll be teaching you the basics of combat in Dungeons & Dragons, or otherwise known as D&D. And this is version 5e, which was the most recent version they made, so it's a little more player accessible, and it's been easier for players to catch on quicker. Now, I know we've heard a lot about Dungeons & Dragons lately. I mean, everything from it popping up in Stranger Things to all the live shows and podcasts. And funny enough, Dungeons & Dragons has been around for 50 years, but it really exploded during the pandemic. On AxioSeattle.com, they reported that there was a 33% revenue increase on Dungeons & Dragons materials since the pandemic, which is unsurprising to me because that's actually when I started. And going into it, it was pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, everything from building a whole character and all the different numbers involved and all the different characters here and dice. I was really concerned that I wouldn't be able to catch on quickly. But thankfully, I had a really good friend who actually was a dungeon master, or DM. They're kind of like the leader of the game. And he explained to me that really you have your basic stats that you come up with, and it's a really learn as you go kind of game, especially if you have a supportive team with you and a supportive dungeon master who's willing to walk you through stuff. Now, I today will be playing the role of dungeon master in our little setup here so I can show you the basics of combat. My two kids, they were really excited about wanting to play, and thankfully there is a new tool that I found called D&D Beyond. It's an app where you can create your own customized character. And sometimes they'll even have sample characters that you can just click on and use them when you want to try out, just basic combat. So my son AZ, he chose Grendel. This is his character he came up with. And these are the basic things you need to know on his character sheet. He is a high elf bard. That's what he chose for his race and class. And now a bard is a musician who has a little bit of magic, a little bit of fighting, and a lot of charisma. And then he has his HP is 17, which is his hit points, that's his health. His AC, which is armor class, which is 13. So if someone is rolling against him, like this saber-toothed pug here, they would have to roll above a 13 to actually attack him and damage him. Then we have initiative. This is when they're responding to this new threat of combat. Who's going to act first? And when you roll for initiative, then you make an order in which everyone's going to fight. And then he has his walking distance of 30 feet. Every square on this map that I have here is 5 feet. So if he is able to walk 30 feet per round, then he can move 6 squares, right? Then we have his weapons here, his dagger, his rapier, and then a few other things I'll explain later. He can also just straight up punch someone or kick them, and that's our melee attack right here. Then there's some saving throws you might want to check out. Your dungeon master will walk you through that and say, hey, roll for dexterity saving throw. And then you look at that, and here's dexterity plus 4. So if this saber-toothed pug were to come at my son's character, he can roll for dexterity and see how quickly he can avoid the attack. Now, I think we're going to talk about the dice that we have here. Every set of dice that you get has about 7 dice in it. And right here we have D4 and then D8. That means this dice, D stands for dice, and this dice has 4 sides. So you would need to look for that if you're rolling for a dagger. And this dice, D8, has 8 sides. The dice you're going to use the most is your D20. Or I do have a giant version right here of a D20 that we'll show you today for teaching reasons. All right, now we're going to come up and have a little combat scenario. First up, we're going to have AZ come on up here. Yay! Thank you for being our participant. All right, AZ, we have a pug here, a saber-toothed pug, really dangerous. Now, we're going to roll for initiative to see who is going to go first. All right, AZ, let's roll the D20 and tell me what you get. He's going to use the big dice to show us today. All right, go ahead and roll it. Let's see what you get. Bring it on over. Oh, great. Looks like he got a 13. 13. And his initiative is plus 3, so you got 16. All right, you're 16. Nasa, our next guest, is going to come up. Roll your D20, Nasa. Her character's name is Vandalia. Roll the D20 and show us what you get. Bring it up and show the audience. What is that? You got a 10?
It's a 10.
All right, and let's see what your initiative is. +0. Unfortunately, you got just a 10. So Azius is first so far. Now, I, as the Dungeon Master, need to roll for the initiative of the saber-toothed pug. His initiative says -4. Funny enough. So I'm going to roll my baby dice here. Natural 20. That is the biggest thing that you can roll with your D20. So that means he obviously is going to go first. And he's going to try to attack their characters. I think that the saber-toothed pug, he has a few different attacks. We're going to choose bite. So that is a +6. The first thing you do, so every attack you have, it'll say +4, +4, or in mine it says +6. The first thing you always roll when you do your attack is your D20. That's step number 1. So I'm going to roll my little D20 here and let you know what I get. We got a 6 +6. That's a 12. And my saber-toothed pug is choosing. Let's say we're going to attack AZ, or Grendel, right here. His AC is 13. Now, I rolled a 12 for my saber-toothed pug. So, since it's lower, he's going to miss. And AZ is thankfully safe. So, I'm going to say, hey, he tries to bite you, and you dodge out of the way. Very nice. All right, AZ, you're up next. Now, you get a chance to attack this saber-toothed pug. What weapon are you going to use? Your rapier or your dagger?
My rapier.
Rapier. All right, well, look at that. It's a +4. So what are we going to do first? We're going to roll a D20. So let's get our big D20, bring it on over, and he's going to roll for his attack. Now, wait. We're going to look the HP, which is the health points. Oh, no, sorry. The armor class, that's what we need to look at. The AC for the saber-toothed pug is 12. So go ahead and roll and see if you can beat a 12, Azius.
Yeah.
What did you get? A 9? Oh, a 6. All right, 6 + 4 is 10. Oh no, you missed. You missed because he has a 12. Next time. All right, next in our order of initiative is Nasa's character, Vandalia. Which weapon are you going to use, Nasa?
I'm going to use my longbow.
All right, and it looks like your longbow is +7. So the first step, we're going to roll your D20.
Yeah.
What does it say?
A 1.
A 1! Oh, no! You missed completely. I am so sorry. So, that's a little bit of our sampling of our combat. Unfortunately, in this one, you really don't know what you're going to get. You could miss everything, and they didn't even really have a chance to attack. Now, if they did attack, let's say our saber-toothed pug is going to roll again and try to attack Nasa this time, Vandalia, who's right here.
Attack me.
Let's see. I'm rolling my D20. I'm trying to bite again, and a bite is a +6. 15 + 6. Oh, no! He hits you with his bite. But now let's see. We have to roll a 1d10. So we have to find a dice with 10 sides. Lucky enough, I got it right here. So I'm going to roll that. We got a 6. And that's it. So you got 6 damage. So your HP, your hit points, let's see what you have. Will you pass over your character sheet?
I have
Your hit points?
hit points. I have
Let me see.
18.
18. Oh, now you got 6, so now you're at 12.
No.
So you got to write that down.
No.
So this is a little bit of the combat situation that we have going on here. And we've really loved, being able to play this game together. And if you take advantage of the D&D Beyond app, it really will help you come up with characters. And you can have a lot of fun. You can take time to buy, go to a game shop and buy some characters, or you can buy this nice dice tray and dice. It really is a wonderful family bonding time. My friend CJ, who's a local musician, and he's also the dungeon master for his family, I talked with him recently, and I had an interview with him, and he was speaking about his family and how they have their own game. And he was saying that this game really brought them together, and it was a wonderful outlet, so they could get out some excess emotion, and it's a bonding time too. And he's also able to play virtually with his sister, who is all the way in Seattle. So not only is it fun, but it's really worth your time, and it's just a great bonding experience, and it gets you off of technology for a while. Well, that's a little taste of combat with D&D, and if you start with those basics, then you'll be able to play whatever game you come across. All right, thank you so much.